Now we're going to talk a little more about that quarter, okay? We talked on the last video about how a quarter has a value, and I'm talking about the coin, a quarter, okay? The coin called the quarter has a value of 25 cents, so 25 ones, okay? So we've got our quarter. Now we're going to label what it's worth. It's worth 25, right? What if we were going to count on? We wanted to add another quarter. What would the value be? So let's add our quarter, and we're going to look for a pattern for how we're counting on with quarters, okay? So we have 25 plus another 25. If I think about mental math, if I don't know what 2 quarters equals automatically, some of you probably know that automatically just because you've been buying things probably for a while with your parents now, and you know what 2 quarters equals. But if you didn't know and you needed to figure it out, or if you just can't remember, you can use your mental math strategies. 2 tens plus 2 more tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, plus a 5, and 5 ones and 5 ones makes another 10. So we have 40 plus that last 10 is 50. 5 tens. So 2 quarters is going to equal 50 cents. If we add another quarter, we're adding another 25. And now we're going to figure out what this value would be for 3 of them all together. So our total so far is 50 plus 25. 50, 5 tens plus 2 more tens, 50, 60, 70, plus 5 ones, 75. Okay, now we need to add another quarter. Okay, another 25 cents. Now remember what I talked about in the last video. 4 quarters is always going to equal the whole dollar. The whole dollar's value is 100. So I don't even have to do mental math. When I get 4 quarters together, I know that one is 25, 2 of them together is 50, add another one 75, so the last one total has to be 100, $1, okay? Another way to think about it is to think about a coin sequence, okay? Do you see my pattern? 25, 50, 75, $1. This pattern would continue even if I kept adding more quarters after I made $1. So let's do that. Add another quarter. Now the pattern's going to start again. I'm going to put a pattern line in here so you can see where the pattern's going to start all over again. Actually, let's make that a solid line so we can see it a little better, okay? I got to 100, but I'm going to add 25. I still have this 100 because this whole set is my total. So I'm adding another one. So I've got my 100 plus 25 more. So now my pattern starts again. I have my 100 plus 25 more, 125. Look at this pattern, 25, 25. If I add another quarter worth 25 cents, I'm going to move to the next spot on my pattern. I still have my 100, here it is, but now I've added 2 more. So here's my 100, move to the next spot on the pattern is 50. So when I add another quarter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters is going to be 150. Add another quarter, move to the next spot on the pattern, keeping the 100. I did my 25. I did my 50. The next one's going to be 75. Okay, add that other quarter. Worth 25 cents all by itself. But when I add that 25 to all the other quarters I've already used, I'm following my pattern. I had $1.25, $1.50, $1.75. Now I need to follow the pattern and I'm at a new 100. I already have 100. Adding one more quarter will give me a second 100. So this 100 plus my next 100 is 200. 200 cents, which is the same as $2. Okay? You can see how I've marked. If I was going to keep this pattern going, I would put a line right here. If I added another quarter, my pattern would start all over again. Now I have $2 or 200, and my pattern starts again. And how many more? 25. And I could keep going. Another way to look at patterns is called a coin sequence or a coin shift. Okay? It could look like this. It's actually the same exact thing that we did here, but we want to maybe mix some other coins sometimes. So I'm just going to make a chart so you can see this coin shift. I've got a writing box, and I've got a saying box. Okay? I'm going to label each section of the box. Remember, this is a chart. It's an organizer. It's a way to help us learn and organize the information we're working on. Ooh, went up high, didn't I? Let's fix that a little better. Okay? So we're going to start with saying, we're going to write that this is a quarter, and we're going to say how much it's worth. This quarter, 1 quarter in that box is worth 25 cents. Okay? Another quarter is worth 50 cents. Okay? Let's finish the writing part of this. I'm going to add one more section over here. Okay, so this is telling us what coins we're talking about, and this value is getting bigger as we move from left to right, because we are adding each one and putting a new value. Add this one, put a new value. This one, put a new value. So I have 25. I added this quarter, made it 50. 3 quarters is going to always be 75. Add the next quarter. 4 quarters is always going to equal 100, which is $1. Add another quarter, my pattern starts again. I could mark right here the start of my quarter pattern starting again. Still have my dollar, 100, 125 cents. Now I'm at 125, but this time I'm not adding a quarter, I'm adding a penny. A penny is not worth 25, he's only worth 1. So I have 125 plus 1 would equal 126 cents. Okay? I can see all of my thinking here. I can see my understanding for the value of each quarter. I can see that I understand when a pattern is going to repeat. I can also see how I can change my counting based on the coin changing. Okay? This is called a coin sequence or a coin shift. Okay? We can do that with pennies. Let's see how we did all quarters and then we shifted to pennies. Let's change our shift. This time let's change it to a dime. A dime is worth 10. Sometimes I write on top what it's worth to help me remember. So if I'm at 125 and I'm going to add 10 more, this is my 10 spot. My total number of tens is 12 because there's 10 tens and 100 plus 2 more, 10, 11, 12. So if I add one more 10, I know it's going to be 13 tens and my 5 ones stayed the same. 125 plus 10 is 135 cents. Okay? Let's shift a different way. Now instead of adding a dime on the end, let's add a nickel. Okay? I'm going to see if I can squeeze one more section over here. And instead of just adding a nickel, we're going to add a nickel and a penny. Okay? I'm at 125 cents. Add the nickel, who's worth 5. Now I'm following my count by 5s pattern. My 100 stays the same. 25 plus 5 more is 30. If I don't remember that, I can grab my 25, and count on 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 130 plus a penny, which is worth 1. 130 plus 1 more, 1 cents. Okay? The shifting of the coins can be shown by making a chart like this. Okay? It helps us label our thinking. It helps us track the value of each coin. We could easily write the value of every coin on top here. And that might help us. That might be a good way to help you stay on track. It also will help you do the little bits of math in between. So if you don't remember that 2 coins or 2 quarters are 50 cents, you can take your 25 and mentally add 25 to it to get your total. Okay? So this is a great way to show us how to organize your thinking and account multiple coins all together, called a coin shift sequence.